Such a beautiful night.
We called it Paradise for a couple of reasons. One, in an ideal world, a little secluded cabin should be just that. And in our twisted world of Criminal Minds, it's everything but that.
His hotel, the Crest Cottages, is sort of like an old mom and pop looking place. It's off the grid, it's very remote. You can't use your cell phone there. If you scream, no one can hear you. Not the victim's paradise, but the serial killer's paradise.
Play a guy named Floyd Hansen, who's the unsub in this episode. He's a pretty sadistic, really brutal, sociopathic serial killer.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to be with a real man?
The isolation of the unsub was a central thing in this story. He grew up sort of alone with not very good role models for parents, and the only real life things he got to witness were through the guests at the cabin. We wanted to set the mood of this teaser. He poses the victim on isolated roads where there's no chance in the world that anybody's going to realize they weren't just killed in an accident. Setting it that way immediately set up the isolation, the theme that we wanted to have throughout.
The sentence that sort of summarizes it all is the middle of the night in the middle of nowhere.
That whole sequence was awesome. When I read it, I knew we were going to get into some big stuff. Basically, the semi-trailer's coming down the mountain road. It's raining. We did all the rain. It's the largest rain job we've done in 4 years on this show. And George Sachs, who was driving, had to put the semi-trailer into a full jackknife before impact. So we had all those elements to think about.
At this point in our show, Criminal Minds had never done a stunt this big before.
We couldn't test the actual impact. With that, we decided to go mechanical, where we'd let the inertia of the truck and the mass of the truck do the work. And we installed and fabricated a kind of a cattle guard scoop on front of the semi. So the semi kind of scoops the car, and then we use like a piano hinge so that the car could get turned over, that at just the right degree, it lets go of itself, and it's now riding and tumbling through the air.
All right, here we go, everyone. Bring up the rain, roll the camera.
Truthfully, we didn't know what was going to happen and where the car was going to end up. The truck comes out from this wall of water. It jackknifes, and then it hits the car. The car flips 3 times. And then, as though we scripted it, lands on its mark.
Oh my gosh!
It was like the stunt gods were like, okay, girls, Deb and Erica, we're gonna give this to you. We're just gonna let this happen.
It was a one-take deal, and the shot is awesome.
At the end of it, it was the most amazing crash I've ever seen.
The shot we're filming tonight is listed on this call sheet as a fitting end.
We actually went through 3 different incarnations of how we would get rid of him.
FBI! He went through there!
We started out with one version of he escaped through the tunnels and we would never see him again, and then next season we could open up a new Crest Cottage, you know, and have like sort of the part 2.
We completely believed, because this is his domain, he could have had a secret way out, but it wasn't completely working. We needed our team to have a huge victory, and that got knocked aside pretty early on.
This was actually not until we were late in our pre-production and someone suggested, you know, what if we come full circle?
We try to keep alive the idea of this truck that started our show. And so throughout the episode, if you listen carefully, you'll hear horns and other sounds of 18-wheelers going by, to have that all set up to the end.
At the end of the episode, he's running away from the good guys and finds himself in the middle of the road facing the grill of a semi-truck. And he sort of gets his comeuppance. Oh, we're going to hit the dummy now.
Maybe at that point, you've kind of forgotten about how it all started, and then as soon as he gets hit, you think, oh my God.
The idea of like sweet justice, it's karma. We were really excited about it, and I think it worked out really well.